We're going to go ahead and get started with our next session, next speaker. So if you could take your seats, that'd be great. A reminder about social media. I think Brinkmeyer's going to stay around. If you have any ask or anything, go ahead and send out questions to them. They would love to have questions, and if she can't answer right away, she said she would get back to it and look and check and see. Our next speaker, Coach Al Kerns, began his teaching career in 1978. He taught for 36 years, retiring in 2014. During his career at Parkersburg and Abington Parkersburg, he was an assistant coach to Ed Thomas for over 30 years. He was also the girls' track coach for 29 years and also coached girls 6-on-6 basketball. Both Coach Kerns and Coach Thomas shared the uncanny ability to motivate young people to help them reach their maximum potential and achieve things that the athletes previously thought were impossible. Coach Kerns taught psychology, sociology, at-risk, and character development and leadership. His girls' track teams were state runner-up in 1997, 1999, 2000, and 2007, and they were state champions in 2001. Currently, Coach Kerns helps implement the character development and leadership curriculum to schools in the Midwest. He also heads the Leadership Academy as well as Coach's Foundation Clinic that is run here as well in the spring. All I can tell you is this: if there's a guy that's going to bring 2 juice bottles and have a towel up here to speak to you, it's going to be good. And I'm just telling you, you're going to enjoy this speaker. So give an introduction, a warm applause to Coach Al Kerns.
All right, can you hear me? Is my mic on? All right, good. I want everybody here to ask yourself a question when we start today, and I want you to think about this. Why are you here? I think you have to start everything you do and say, okay, now you're looking within yourself, and not why is he here, why is she, why are you here? And if I were to ask you, young man, gentleman there with the nice husky shirt on, what's your name? I'm sorry? You. Arthur? Hunter. Yeah. Why are you here? Oh, that's the answer I was looking for. To learn about leadership. Now, what's your name? Caitlin. What's learning mean?
To comprehend something.
To what?
Comprehend something.
Wow, that's a big word. To going to comprehend something. Well, when I taught psychology, we talked about learning is a change. If you learn something, you're going to have a change in behavior. And to me, that's why you're here today. When we're talking about leadership, when you go out that door, I know I learned this from Coach Thomas at the first practice. The kids would come to practice and he'd say, get better every day. Get better every day. And when we had a group of athletes that would come to practice and they understood that when you left that day, it was your job to be better than when you came. To me, I wanted the same thing in the classroom. Today, you're my classroom. When you leave, you've heard 2 great speakers already. I'm like, how do I follow them? I don't know. You change your behavior. We want you to leave here better today than when you came. You know, leadership, look at this. I want to thank you for coming. All you supervisors that arranged this, thank you so much, because without you, we don't have a leadership academy. We have over approximately 430 people here today. That's a great turnout. And we hope that we can impact a lot of people. And I say, hey, where's the media? Where's the media here? Where's the news? Where's channel this and that? Because I guarantee you, 430 of you were out doing something you weren't supposed to. They'd be there. And they'd cover it. But no, we have 430 great young people here today from the state of Iowa trying to change their behavior and leave here better than when they came. But that's just not news. That's reality. I'm not complaining about it. Because the things that we talk about today, being a better leader, being a better person, improving your character, probably is not going to make you rich and famous. But it sure makes you feel good. And isn't that what everybody's looking for today? I want to do something that makes me feel good. Improve your character. So we go, hey, where's the media? They're not here. My name's Al Kerns. I'm a teacher. And I say, I'm a mutt. The reason I say I'm a mutt is I did go to college. I went to college for 4 years. I'm a teacher. I don't have a master's degree. I don't have a doctorate. I'm not a specialist in anything. What I'm sharing with you today is from being in the trenches for about 37 years. And that's how I learned. And I'm not against college, and I think it's important, but I just don't have those degrees. I began way back in 1978. When I taught at high school here, I taught psychology, sociology. I taught a great character development and leadership course. I think it should be in every school in Iowa, but that's just me. But a lot of what I do today is going to come from that course. I taught some at-risk students, and I loved all my students. I coached football, girls track, and that 6-on-6 girls basketball. Some of you probably don't even know what that is. I'm old-fashioned. I'll tell you about my first wife. I'm still married to her. 40 years. Old school. We had 2 sons. We were blessed. We're blessed. We have 3 grandchildren. That's pretty good life right there. I'm glad I lived long enough. I never anticipated being a grandpa. Do any of you have grandparents? Communicate with them. I never got until I had my grandson look up at me one day and say, Papa Al. That'll get you. I hope you get to live long enough to experience that. Empathy. Whenever I talk to young people, I say this word. How many have heard me speak? So you've heard me say it before. I always say it when I talk to young people. I say, I got empathy. Empathy, how many know what that is? Raise your hand. Right? Hey, if you don't know what it is, just lie. Raise your hand. You bet. Yeah, we know. Okay, fine. See, I used to be a teacher. I know how it works. Our kids were more like this. Raise your hand. Now, I could ask a question. All right, kids, if any of you out there at any point of your life has had a mother, raise your hand. And they'd be like, I ain't doing it. Come on, get it. So we say, empathy. I would have been the guy out there today, looking up here, looking at me, and going, OMG, what is this guy going to say? I see an old man. I see a fat old man. I see a fat old man that limps. I'd see a fat old man that limps that has a hole in his head. It's kind of funny looking. Then you go home that night and your parents, like my parents or like I was with my kids, what'd you do today? What'd you learn? And you say, I don't know, some fat old guy talked to us a little bit. Well, what'd he say? I don't know. I don't know what he said. Didn't say nothing. I'd have been that guy, but I tell you what, don't kid yourself. We could all take an IQ test, and there would be a whole bunch of you that would beat me on the score. But let me tell you something. Don't believe what society says. My biggest advantage over you young people today is that I am old. And don't ever think old people are stupid. We've learned some things. When I was your age, we said, hey, we were taught, you revere those old people. And what I got on you is not intelligence, I have experience. I've seen things. And I'm going to see a lot more things, and I don't know everything. And I learn something every day. Hey, I just heard 2 great speakers. I've never been any smarter than I am at this moment. The first thing I'm going to tell you is what I tell students when they come in my class. If you agree with everything I say, you're an idiot. As I get up here today and I'm talking, I don't expect you to agree with everything I say. You're not supposed to agree with everything everyone says, but we do want you to do this. If you disagree with me, let's learn this. We can still get along. We don't have to hate each other's guts. We can disagree in an agreeable way. That's what we used to say in the elementary. First graders understood that. Let's disagree in an agreeable way. If you can't do that, I bet you will never be married to your first wife or husband for 40 years. Because you're not going to agree. So we go and we say, hey, are there any kids out here in this group that I had in class? Any of my former students? So if I went back, Ross, is that you? What do I want you to learn more than anything else? That's my man right there. Do you hear that? That's what I'm talking about. Think for yourself. Can you do it? Can you think for yourself? That's leadership. You take all this information you get and you think about it and you say, I agree with this, I disagree with this, and you think for yourself. And then you see somebody doing something and you say, you don't follow them, then you do it, you think for yourself. That's the leadership. Thinking for yourself. We're here today because of adversity. That's why this starts. And we say, no matter how bad the adversity is in your life, and if you haven't had it, it's coming. You're going to have it. And that's why we're here. And I know there's some schools here today, several, that have had extreme adversity in their schools within this school year. And I want you to know that we think about you. We have empathy for you. We don't know how you feel, but we know it's not good and we know it's hard. And if you're in one of those schools, I just want to tell you something. You see, remember when Coach Thomas showed that video? Raise your hand. Remember that? You know, sometimes what I think is overlooked, for me, the hardest part, we went through an EF5 tornado. We went through the murder on our high school campus of probably what most people would have thought was the greatest leader in our community. The hardest thing for me in that follow-up of both those events were the 22 kids that were eyewitnesses to that murder. They watched. How long does it take to shoot somebody 7 times? Not very long. And in that time, we had 22 kids' lives changed forever. Do you think you had a crappy day? Adversity. What do you say to someone? What do you say? Well, we kind of use this as our mantra. We said this. Kids, when you have something, you know, we had hundreds of kids that were huddled with their family in a basement. 25 seconds, they said it took for that tornado to go over. 25 seconds of their life, they think they're going to die. They're hugging their family, thinking they're going to die for 25 seconds. You say 25 seconds isn't very long. That changes everything. 25 seconds is an eternity. That's going to change your life. We say, when you have those kinds of adversity, it's going to change you. And here's the deal, people. It's either going to make you a better person or a worse person. You decide. That's the power. Are you going to allow that adversity to hold you back, to make you choose a life of alcohol, drugs, bad choices? A lot of people do that. It's hard. But some people say, it's going to make me better. I'm going to come out the other end. It's going to be hard, but I can do it. What can you learn from this? Well, we got this leadership academy. Something good might come out of everything. Keep your head up. Take care of yourself. Now to me, that's leadership. Title of my talk today is For What It's Worth. Because anything I tell you, take it for what it's worth. That's it. You decide. Think for yourself. You know, I'm not really trying to tell you anything today. I'm just trying to give you something to think about. You know, this title, come on, clicker. I stole this title. I'm a burglar. I'll tell you what. Everything that I ever did that was probably smart, I stole that idea. It's kind of like education, I guess. And we say, this was an old song in 1967 by a group called Buffalo Springfield. Now, none of you ever heard of that. And you said, and you're going like, 1967? Was that like when the Civil War was? Well, it's just a little bit after that. And in 1967, I was you. I was your age. And I listened to music. And not like you listen to music. Had an AM radio. There was one channel I could get that played rock and roll. I kind of liked it. And I listened to a lot of music. And when this song was popular, again, I was your age. And I'm in the 4th quarter of my life. I'm in the 4th quarter. I've been lucky to make it to the 4th quarter. Not everybody does. If you're lucky, you're in the 1st quarter of your life. You got everything ahead of you. Somebody asked me one time, they said, hey, why do you want to be a teacher? I said, I want to help young people not do the same dumb things I did. That's what I said, and that's what I tried to do my whole career. I chose this title because of the lyrics. And one of the lines in that song goes like this: nobody's right if everybody's wrong. And that caught me because in 1967, I was living in a world of chaos in the United States of America. And there were a lot of questions I had in my head. And a lot of them made me scared. But that wasn't something you told your friends, that you were scared. But it was a scary time. And I think it applies now. I think about you people out there, and I think it's a scary time. And we say, hey, we got race-related. We thought we took care of that. 60s, 70s, we fixed that. I guess we did not. We must have done something inadequately. We say, the world's in turmoil. We had the Vietnam War and communism. You got terrorism. We both had something to be afraid of. You know, you go, what? Look at us. This is Iowa. What's Iowa's greatest resource? Does anyone know? Yes, it's pigs. We are number one. We lead the world in pig production. Well, that's true. The number one product in Iowa is you, people. And I know this. You are the best future leaders in the United States of America are here today, if you want to be. The best kids in the world are right here. I got some supervisors out there that were my student teachers. If you don't believe me, ask them. Remember when I told you, if you can't teach at AP, you can't teach, hang it up. You're not going to find any better kids anywhere. And the same is true for your school. Oh, we complain about you once in a while, but we know you're the best. And we go, hey, what's the world? We got scandals. We got things going on. Who do you trust? Who do you? And we say, hey, where's the leadership? I'm looking for it. Where is it? What does the leadership do? How do we get out of this? And we say, hey, I see leadership arguing. I see leadership blaming. All you got to do is turn on your TV. Democrats, Republicans, independent, everybody's arguing, everybody's blaming. That's not leadership. Leadership is solutions. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I want to see some leadership. Hey, I taught school for all those years. I taught elementary gym, man. I know what a kindergartner's like. Have you ever heard a kindergartner say this? Badger, 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 badger. But they would go on for infinity if you didn't stomp them. Shut up. Jeez. Just stand still. What are you doing? What are you doing? He hit me first. No, she hit me first. He hit me first. Shut up. He said, oh. See, when I started teaching, you could legally tell kids to shut up. It felt good. So we go and we say, hey, I'm looking for leadership. I watch the media, and they're promoting agendas. They're not giving us the news. They want you to watch the news, so that's why they're not here today. This is kind of boring. Young people that want to be positive leaders. Talking heads on 100, 200 channels, blogs. Who do you believe? How do you know where to get your information? Who do you believe? Do you just believe the people that agree with you? Now that is scary. That is not leadership. When you start just believing people that agree with you. Our country wasn't made that way. Well, I could go back to the beginning and I could say, we have different ideas here, leaders. We got to come up with a solution. And the same is true in a marriage. You got to do that to stay married for 40 years. My wife's had to do that a few times. Because if you haven't noticed, I ain't perfect. She stayed with me. And I tell you, some of the things she does, it's crazy stuff, I tell you. But you got to get along. That's leadership. Think for yourself. When leadership fails, chaos ensues. Is that what we got going today? Now, I'm not blaming a Democrat. I'm not blaming Republican. I'm not blaming Obama. Get that out of your head. I'm talking about the entire leadership process. The United States of America. Is our leadership failing us? Is that why we have chaos? Think about your classrooms. I don't care what school you... Now listen. Don't say any names. No names. But raise your hand again if you have at least one class in your school that is chaos. They're everywhere. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting one. So you got all the... What? It's because the leadership's failing, the teacher's not doing their job. And I had the kids come in and they'd say, hey, Mr. Kerns, in that class, I don't learn nothing because the teacher don't have any discipline. And I told them the same thing every time. I told them, shut up. If you want to learn something, get in there and learn. You know, but when leadership fails, you have chaos. Look at your classrooms. And I say, what are you doing to make it better? That's what I asked them. That's leadership. You don't have to bring 100. What are you going to do for yourself? What are you doing? You complain? You complain about that class? Yeah. What are you doing to make it better? If you're not doing anything to make it better, shut up. At least take care of yourself. At least. You know, I think one thing people talk about leadership all the time, I try to read about it, I try to study up on it, I try to learn about leadership all the time. It's important to me. I think great leaders that I've seen unite groups. They unite people. They bring people together. They are not divisive. Isn't that the kind of leadership we need? And I'm looking out there going, I think it could be you. We need you. We do. And so when we go and we're looking at leadership and we say, hey, this is why I think this is so important for you people today. I believe that. See what that says? I think everybody's a leader. Somebody say, I don't want to be a leader. I don't like being a leader. You got to be a leader. You got to take care of yourself. You start with yourself. It's self-leadership. It's today. When you walk out of here today, if you stay for the whole day, you're going to be walking out of here about 2 o'clock. Are you going to walk out of here better than you walked in? If you don't, whose fault is it? It's yours. Yeah, that's right. It's yours. It's up to you. So I say, everyone's got to be a leader, even if you're just leading yourself. Some people don't even have enough gumption to lead themselves. They just walk around following everybody, doing whatever, and get into trouble, and they're like, I didn't do anything. Come on. Whew. This is where I'm coming from. Okay, so when I taught character and leadership class, this is a definition we use, providing guidance and leadership to accomplish tasks. How many groups are you in? You know, that's a sociological question there. We used to ask that in sociology. Kids would go, yeah, how many groups are you in? I don't know. Well, every time you move, every time you go to a different class, you wake up your family, there's a group, you go to school, you go to a different class, you go to this activity, that activity, you're in a bunch of groups every day. And all these groups have group members, and all these groups have what we call norms of behavior, and they're always trying to get you to change your behavior. You know, if you go out with somebody that smokes marijuana, marihoopy, pot, whatever they call it today, they're going to try to get you to smoke it. Get a clue. Your parents know that. You say, oh, you don't trust me. Shut up. They know what they're talking about. They used to be your age. So they go, they're going to try to get you to smoke it. No, they're not. Yes, they are. That's what people do. They're not trying to be, that's just what people do. They conform to the norms of the group. So when you choose your groups, what groups are you going to be in? Hey, I want you to be in a group that's going to accomplish something. It's going to be united. Hey, I like that last part. Be a moral compass to others. Now, I'm sitting here looking at a bunch of kids, and I say, be a moral compass to others. And I bet there are kids out there that go, yeah, I'm taking notes like you're going to have a test. I got that. Be a moral. What's a compass? I don't know. Is that like a GPS? Yeah. It's an old school GPS. You point the people in the direction you want to go. You don't really have to say anything. You don't really have to do anything. You just got to keep moving in the right direction. That's leadership. And today, I'm only talking to you about positive leadership. That's it. I'm not talking about negative leadership. I'm not going to talk about it. It's everywhere. It's all over the place. You're surrounded by it. You always will be. I am. I'm old. I encounter people every day that try to get me to do things that I probably shouldn't do. Now, trust me. I know. I used to be a guy. Some of the bad things that people try to get you guys to do can be really fun. They sure sound like a lot of fun. People look like they're having fun when they do them. But in the long run, it's not. Trust me. That's the advantage I have on you. I'm old. See, we say, improve your character. This is my probably number one mantra, is that if you improve your character, you improve your performance. Improve your character, improve your performance. I learned that from Coach Thomas. I saw young people who played football for him, and if they improved their character, here's what happened. They became a better football player. I saw students in classrooms, they improved their character. They became better young people, more positive. Their grades improved. Their relationships with their families and peers improved. They became better. When I was your age, I didn't have great character. I didn't have good character. What I had was poor character. But as I improved, I saw myself, I became a better husband. I became a better father. I don't think if I would have made changes in my life, I wouldn't have been married to the same woman for 40 years. Then I wouldn't have blamed her. So we say, improve your character. What does that mean? Well, it means you get better at all those character traits that are out there. You know, leadership without character, to me, is a failure of leadership. So we're not talking negative leadership today. We're only talking positive. You know, and again, I'm starting with self-leadership. I'm talking about improve your character. Okay, so you want to start being a leader? Every day when you get up, think about improving your character. How many of you, hey, let's work out again. Raise your hand if you use an alarm clock to get up. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, you can put your hands down. Thank you. Hey, how about this? How many of you hit snooze? That's bad. See, we didn't have snooze on alarm clocks when I was your age, but the communists came in and that's how they were going to overthrow us. They put snooze on our alarm clocks. They about did it. They about made it work. You know, here's a novel idea. You set your alarm, you're going to get up. Get up! I said, I'd have kids in class. They said, you missed my first hour class today. Where were you? Now, is my wife out there? Is she out here? Yeah, she's back there. See, she tells me, this is why it's important to have a spouse, because she'll tell me, hey, you offend people. I don't mean to offend you. I'm just being honest. Hey, I'm not running for governor. I'm a retired teacher. I don't care if you like me. I don't want to be your friend. So I'm saying, when your alarm clock goes off, get up. I had a student come to my class. I said, you missed my first hour class. Yeah, my mom let me sleep in because we got home from our game late. I'm speechless. Your mommy let you sleep in? Yeah. This is high school. Man, we used to take pride. When I was your age, we could stay out all night and not be late for school. And we could perform. Have you changed? Have kids changed? No, adults have changed. Because my mom would have said, get your out of bed. Now, you're going to school, son. Yeah, but I was out all night late. I don't care. My mom was cool. She'd get you up. The later you stayed out, the earlier she'd get you up. She's a smart woman. So we say, we start with self-leadership. Get yourself out of bed. I'm looking for, you hit that alarm, you go, oh, I don't want to get up today. I got to go to school. Oh, you're not going to have a very good day. That's your fault. That's your attitude. You got things to do. You know that Ed Thomas guy? I think about him a lot. He was a great role model for me. And when I'm standing here talking to you today, I just think that he would love to be here, to try to impact you in a positive way. Where are you going to be tomorrow? You don't know. Get up. Get something done. I'm looking forward to it. That's leadership. You get to go to school. You get to. You're lucky. Do what's right. You know, we used to say, hey, when you start with leadership, you improve your character. We used to just say, hey, do what's right. See, we had this belief. You would think my ear would be big enough to hold that stupid thing on there. When you look at those ears, huge. So we go and we say, hey, do what's right. We believe that every kid, if they would pause, okay, I can do this or I can do this. What would be the right thing to do? I think you know. I think you do. Do you stop? Do you ask? Do what's right. You know, we got people out there. See, you got role models. You got negative role models. You got negative leadership. And people today just give me. See, I'm lucky. I'm a lot luckier than you because when I grew up in the greatest time in the history of this country. I believe that. And I remember when people shook hands, that was gold. That was your word. You didn't break it. You didn't say, today they go, well, we shook on that. Yeah, but we didn't sign a document, so legally I'm not bound. We shook on it. And when you say no, that's unethical. They say, well, what's unethical? Is it illegal? No, nobody cares if it's not illegal. I care. Some of us still care. That's leadership. I said I would do it, I'll do it. Hey, I will do that. You know, something better comes up. Well, I'll do something better. No. I said I would do it, I'll do it. So we go, hey, that's leadership. You know, when you improve your character, come on in. Love to have you. When you improve your character, it's kind of a natural process. When I taught character and leadership, I would ask the students, I sweat, baby. And people say, oh, that's gross. I love sweat. It means you're doing something. I try to sweat every day. So we go and we say, hey, it's a natural process. You improve your character, you're going to become a role model. That's leadership. So I'd ask my class, I'd say, who are the role models? Who are the positive role models in our school? And you know what? They knew. And they might say this person, that person, him, her. So I'd come back and I'd see that person in the hallway. And if it was you, I'd go, hey, come here. No, you don't have to. She's like, what? Really? Oh, me? Oh. No, just sit. Hey. You know, in character and leadership. And they know how much I think of that course. Our kids at this school know how important that course was to me. And the kids that took it. And I said, we were talking about this in class the other day, and positive role models in our school. Our kids picked you. They were clueless. They didn't know they were a leader. They didn't know they were a role model. They're just living their life trying to do the right thing. It isn't some big scientific process to be a leader. Do what's right. You'll become one. There's no pressure. There's no stress. You will feel better. That's the truth. So we go, hey, what's your favorite word? I'd always ask my classes, what's your favorite word? That's kind of what we're talking about here. And they'd come in day one, character leadership. I'd say, hey, what's your favorite word? So, hey, cat. What's your favorite word?
Cat? I don't know.
Like for caterpillar, or do you like cats?
Caterpillar.
Caterpillar. See, that's not bad. That tells me something about him. I learned something about him. The number one favorite word when I ask people is usually, What's your favorite word? Mr. Kerns, I don't have a favorite word. What are you talking about? You being stupid again, Mr. Kerns. That's what my kids thought of me. I said, I'll tell you what, when you're done with this course, you're going to have a favorite word, I promise you, and they did. And some people said, Mr. Kerns, can I have more than one favorite word? And I go, you bet. And then we had a test, and I said, what's your favorite word? And you tell me why. And they never missed it. Because it says something about you. You guys do more communicating than anybody in history, and you don't say doodly squat. You're communicating, but what do you say? You say, what did the person 3 text messages ago say? What? I don't know. We're talking about words that you put inside you, and they are tied to you emotionally. So that then I've always got the student. You got these students. All right, Mr. Kerns, so if that's so important, what's your favorite word? Hey, no problem. It's integrity. Not because I'm great at it. Integrity. Integrity means here's what I'm saying my values are, and then I'm going to, like Coach Thomas said earlier, that I'm going to behave that way. If I say it's important to be honest, I got to be honest. And then you live your life that way. Try it. That's toughness. Toughness doesn't have anything about bullying anybody or beating anybody up or intimidating anybody. Toughness is you say, like the late Coach Thomas, faith, family, football. Try to live your life that way. He did it honorably. Best I ever saw. He's my role model. He's not here anymore. He's still my role model. I wish I was that tough. I can't always do it. I'm not tough enough. But I try to get better every day. You know, Roy Disney said it's not hard to make your decisions when you know what your values are. So when you know what's important to you, you're at the point of your life where it's like you got a shopping cart and you're going through your grocery store of life or Walmart or whatever, and you get to pick any values you want. You get to pick right now what's important to you. And every time you make a behavior decision, you're picking a value. You better think about what you're doing. There are things you're going to do in your life and choices that you do that you can't go up to people and go, my bad. Texting and driving, how about that? Well, I'm just going to do a quick one. And then you crash and you kill somebody and you live. And then you go to their parents and go, my bad. I don't think so. You take some drug, you drive in your car. Don't do that. Why? You might kill somebody, you might live. You go to their parents and go, my bad. You think? This is serious. This is high school. When you start driving. I don't care. Hey, this guy's yelling at us. Oh, did I hurt your feelings, your self-esteem? Grow up. It's time. That's leadership. You know, more about self-leadership, we say, here's a great quote. By Jack Welch, before you are a leader, success is about growing yourself. I think that's where you're at right now. You're trying to grow yourself today. You're trying to be better when you leave here than when you came. When you become a leader, success is about growing others. This is where people miss it. Success isn't about me. Success is about everybody else. I'm not up here in any way, shape, form today trying to promote myself. I'm up here because of you, and I don't even know you. And everybody speaking here today is the same way. We have this curse. We don't know you, but we care about you. And we know you have good things to offer. That's what a leader does. A leader helps other people be better. So we go and we say, hey, oh, geez, I about fell off there. Growing yourself, improving your character. That's growing yourself, improving your character. It includes what's important to you, your values, your goals, building relationships with other people in a positive way. When people talk about leadership, I think they often leave this one out. The people that I respect as leaders, this is what they brought every day. Coach Thomas brought this every day. We had better football practices, and Coach Thomas had better classrooms because when the students walked on the field or they went in his classroom every day, they knew what it was going to be like. Every day. It was going to be serious. They knew the expectations. They knew how they were going to behave. They knew they were going to have to work. They knew they were going to have to shut up and work every day. And he was going to be there, and he was going to be excited. He wasn't just going to be there. He was going to be there with enthusiasm and energy every day. Now, that's consistency. Is that the way you come to school? See, we say, everybody has drama in their life. Everybody has things in their life. Everybody has problems. Everybody. But when you get in those roles, you got to leave them. Because to everybody else, that's just drama. You know, you see that up there where it says, see, this is CIC. See that CIC? That's an acronym. It's for, I had great role models when I started teaching school, and they told me, complaining is contagious. Now, another way to say that is BIC. You figure that one out. Complaining is contagious. It is. And you watch somebody complain. You do this. Somebody complain and they come in, oh, and you try this. It's a gas. You say, hey, brother, and you say, that really didn't bother me that much. They will leave. They will go beep, 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 until they find somebody to agree with them.
5 minutes, Coach Kerns.
All right, thank you very much. And they will go and they will find somebody that will do it with them. It's contagious. And I've been in situations where that is the priority of the group, is to complain. They don't have any positive leadership. The second part in there, the 90-10, is this. I believe this. When you go complaining to someone, 90% of the people don't care anyway. They act like they do. They don't care. And 10% are going, yes, they're glad you have a problem. That's funny. They have a problem. Complaining does nothing for solutions. Complaining is the opposite of leadership. Drama, opposite leadership. We all have it sometimes, and we have, I've got a wife. When you're married to someone, that's where you do those things. That's where you do them. People, be advised. I'm going to do this real quick, and then I'm going to end. At some point, we all have to take a stand. I'm talking about doing the right thing. So you're going to say no. Sometimes taking a stand, being a leader, means you're going to say no. Here, you want to do this? No, I'm sorry, I can't do this. That's leadership. Some people won't like it. And I say this. Life is not twit face or whatever it is that stuff you on. I'm not on there. I don't know. Somebody probably tweeting me. They're probably tweeting something bullying me. Well, I ain't going to read it, so save your fingers. I ain't going to read that crap. I don't twit. I've had the kids. I got 500 friends. Are you kidding me? That's what your life is about? I don't think so. We're talking about mature skills here today. This is high school. You heard me say it. If the most important things to you are popularity, partying, having fun all the time, this academy ain't for you. It ain't going to work out. You're not mature enough. Maybe you will be one day. But if that's you, you're in the wrong place. You probably wasted your day, and you won't be any better when you leave than when you came. Your most important job you'll ever have, most of you will be a parent. I said everybody's a leader. You better be a leader when you're a parent. You better take that responsibility. And we say, you better do that. Now I got some more stuff for you today. Hey, Wigman, you back there? How much time I got? 3 minutes. You can't wait, can you? We got to eat now. All right. I won't keep you long. I'm going to end with this story, and then I'll shut up. This is a true story. I know I'm within a year here. I think the year was 1969. And there was a little chubby, freckle-faced kid. And he really liked football. And he went out for the high school football team. And in 1969, when you were a freshman on a high school football team, what that meant was that the seniors got to use the freshmen for dummy bags. We didn't have bags. We had freshmen. And the older kids got to beat up on you. I'm not complaining. That's just the way they did it. But when you're a freshman and these seniors are huge and they're tough and they beat up on you. So this little chubby freckle-faced kid's walking off the field one day, kid who came to practice that year, and he liked football, and that's why he went out, had these thoughts in his head. I think I'm going to quit. Some of those guys are just being mean to me, and I don't like it. And I'm going to quit. That's what that kid thought. And on the way to the locker room, one senior walked up to this kid, put his hand on his shoulder, and he said, "Stay with it. Someday you're going to be a good football player." And that kid never quit. And he went on, and 40 years of his life were dedicated to that sport. And he just talked to you today about leadership. That guy, when I got older, a lot older, I thought about that and how he impacted my life. That senior was a leader. Did he think about being a leader? Did he know he was doing something leadership that changed my world? It changed my life. It impacted it more than I could ever even explain to you. That's leadership. Who can't do that? Who can't take the time to go up to somebody and say, "Hey, you know what? I saw something in you." How long did that take? I saw something in you. 5 words. 3 seconds. I timed it. That's leadership. You can do it. You guys have been a great audience. I hope when you walk out that door today, you're better than when you came in. Thank you very much. You've been great.